Hello my creative friends, Olga Sobi here and welcome to the Summer Joy Fluid Art lesson. Today let's try working with citrus color palette. I am in the mood for something really bright and juicy and fun, so I want to work with literally citrus color palette. I got some yellows and oranges here and some greens for my negative space. And I want to try using my rings in a brand new way. Instead of creating planets and just round forms, I want to go for actual citrus fruit forms. Let's see how it turns out. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I have already positioned my rings where I want them to be. You can see that all three are a little bit off the frame of the panel. And working on a pretty cool size. I really love working on longer panels. So this one is 8 by 24 and I want it to be vertical orientation, but it's much easier to work horizontal. So let's get to it. Just maybe readjust a little bit. And this is just an approximately where my fruits are gonna go. I'm marking with pencil so I know where to add the paint. Just some guidelines for myself. Okay, and this can go for now, and let's add the secret message. I'm in the mood for summer joy quite literally, so this is the secret message today. And I want to work first on my fruits and then on the negative space. So this one I want to be the biggest one. I want to be sort of a grapefruit inspired, this one orange and this one lemon. And I don't want to use just solid color, for example, solid orange for my orange fruit. I want it to be a compound out of multiple different colors. I think it will look a lot more interesting and will have more of the fluid painting energy. So let's start adding in those colors. So we do need some red for sure, and I'm gonna add them just randomly. Not too worried about the exact shapes just yet. We need a little bit of this color here. Of course, some orange. And this orange here, it's iridescent orange yellow, so it will have beautiful shine when it's gonna be dry. Of course, can't go without yellow. I actually need to add extra yellow here because I see that I added a bit too much red. So to make orange, as a total appearance of the section, need to have more yellow for sure. And of course, a lemon is gonna be nice and bright yellow. I also want to have some gold. And definitely need to add some white, especially in my lemon, just to make it a little lighter. Just a couple drops here and here. So in my orange part, I see that I have a bit too much red. So I'm just dipping it out. Yeah, this is a better balance overall. And for my grapefruit, just moving paint around to make sure I am within the frame that I did with my pencil. And now I want to grab a brush, but I'm gonna use the opposite side of the brush. And I want to just create some wispy, wiggly designs here. Okay, looking perfect. I can already love how these colors work together. It's very happy colors for sure. So next I want to add a little bit of white and create those lines. I want to stay within the abstract appearance of the fruits, but need to add a couple lines and the center white part just to keep this resemblance with the actual real fruit. To find my center, I want to dip my rings And then I'm gonna be placing them back again, but for now it's just so it helps me to see where my the outer part of the fruit is, so I can more easily find the center. Next, I'm just gonna take a toothbrush and draw lines from the inside out. I'm gonna clean the toothpick after each line. Maybe I need something thicker than a toothpick. I'm just gonna use the tip of the brush again, so the lines are a little more defined. Yeah, that's better for sure. So now I'm gonna try add some white around. This is cool. That works. I think I will do some touch-ups when it's dry, just to finish up the shape, make it a little more rounded. But even like that, this is super cool. I'm gonna position my ring here already, so I can see better. Yeah, the white sinks a bit because I have a lot of paint in those sections, so we'll need to definitely add more when it's dry. I love how it looks. It has very happy energy, I think. Okay, let's do the same thing with the orange and lemon. So I think I'm gonna position my rings. Let's find the center. Just eyeballing it, but want to get as close as possible. And the orange is done, just have the lemon left. Oh, am I round? My white is not super rounded for lemon, yikes. Okay, so the fruit part is ready. Looks very, very bright and happy. So for my negative space, I just want to blow it out, and I have a couple of different shades of green, so I think I'm gonna go from darker to lighter. And this part is gonna be very abstract, so I don't want to create any leaves, but I want to have a leafy kind of energy. So some darker green, some lighter. Lightest. I think I'm gonna add just a touch of gold in my negative space as well. I want to add a touch of Prussian blue just for some shades, and a bit of white for some highlights in my green section. I seriously love how this looks already. Okay, let's get those colors moving. And when I'm gonna be moving, I'm gonna keep my rings in place and be very careful not to shift and not to push them with the blow dryer. I want to get as close around my ring as possible without actually shifting it. So be careful when working with the rings. Oh my god, I love it! And if you watch my channel regularly, you know this is not my regular color palette. I don't work with green a lot, I gotta admit it. Last time I worked with green and some orange and more like tropical color palette when I did my flamingo. Here is the picture. I'm super proud of that painting. But it was definitely a challenge for me to work with it, and it was a bit of a challenge for me to work with these colors today again, but I think it worked perfectly. And see, I'm so happy that I added some white and some Prussian blue for highlights and shades. This green section looks a lot more interesting. There's a lot more depth and movement. Otherwise, the green would look a bit too flat. But let's remove the rings and see how that looks. Okay, need to be careful. Ta-da! This is cool. Gosh, I'm so happy. This is definitely a very groovy, summer, tropical painting. Okay, the first step is done. The next step would be to let it dry. I want to do some touch-ups to finish up the shape and look of my citrus fruits. And then gonna be time for resin, so keep watching. I will be right back. The painting is dry. I have already finished the lemon and now it's orange turn. Using the same hoop to draw the outline for my orange, I'm gonna use it as a guideline for my painting. And the first step, I'm painting the white rim around the fruit or the albedo part of the rind. I'm using small flat brush for this and the white fluid paint. It's the same paint as I use for pouring. I also want to fill in a few imperfections inside of my orange section where I have too much white to make it a bit more orange so it's all nice and balanced. And next step, I take this tiny round brush and connect the center or the core of my fruit with the outer rim to recreate this segment wall between each segment of the orange. And at the end of the line, I make it thicker and a bit more rounded. You can see, so it transitions naturally into this outer white ring around my orange. As you remember, I did these segment membranes while the paint was fluid, but you can barely see them. They really blend in, the white has synced into the rest of the colors. So touching up on dry painting is honestly the easiest solution. And now I just repeat the same step for each segment of the orange. Okay, and the final step, adding the outer part of my rind, using orange color for it, of course. And again, I think it should not be perfectly even. Create the difference in texture for a more natural fruit look. Once I'm done with the orange, I'm gonna repeat all exact the same steps with my grapefruit, and my fruit trio is gonna be ready for final finish. So we'll be right back. Voila! I finished the touch-up on lemon and orange and the grapefruit, and cover this beauty with a layer of epoxy resin, so it's all done and finished now. And oh my god, you guys, this painting just totally gives me life. It's so happy and vibrant and refreshing, and I honestly can almost smell citrus just by looking at it. Tell me, does it have the same effect on you? And I think it would be absolutely perfect for kitchen or a bar area for this year-round tropical energy, because it definitely has this super cool and chill tropical vibe. And quite frankly, I cannot believe how much I love this color palette. You guys know me, I am not a green kind of girl, but this base, it is so beautiful. It totally captivates me. I love the movement here. It's so dynamic and so juicy. The multiple shades of green here worked out perfectly. But what I love the most is the parts inside of each fruit. So I'm super happy that I used multiple colors. It looks very interesting. All these metallics and iridescent, they shine super awesomely against the light. And I like that there is a combination of the fluid technique, this fluid wispy movement, and a more realistic painting. So this is quite an interesting combo. Tell me, do you like the fluid art plus a bit more realistic style? Or you prefer just 100% abstract look and feel? Here it is in the vertical orientation, looks even better, right? So something very different for me, but perfect for summer energy. Please let me know how do you like it, and join me this coming Saturday. We're gonna do a mixture of techniques. It's gonna be paint pouring with a couple other ones, so mixed media project. See you there. Please give this video a like. I'll chat with you in the comments down below. Take care, create with passion, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.